Great. So I want to kind of give you guys a heads up on what we have planned for the Town of Minto showcase within the County of Wellington showcase. So, Bill, are you able to move my slides? Annaline, can you move my slide? Thank you. So this is the picture of the County of Wellington showcase. Along the left-hand side is the zip line, and that's along Highway 109 or County Road 109. And we are in Tent A, which is right there where that arrow is. We have almost 1,000 square feet of space, and our theme is Ride the Rails. So we were tasked from the county with providing an interactive space that highlights something unique to Minto. So I selected railways because we could tie into a lot of the stuff we have at the museum, and there's a connection throughout Minto for the railways. So next one. So within our space, this is what our space will look like. We will have the layout, the pathway. We were originally wanting to do a railway path, but we couldn't do that. So it's going to be mulch, and it's going to be a different color of mulch than the whole rest of our site. So there will be a pathway for people to follow. And then I'll just go through the next slides because they feature the things. So we worked with the County of Wellington Museum and Archives to get these old images of each of the railway stations. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a nice picture of the Fulton Mills station. So we have a really old document of Minto as a whole with a map and where the rail went. So that will be our representation of the township as a whole. And these three images are the three stations. They're going to be big 4x6s and go on the wall around our space. We will have a variety of railway items. So the one item is the bell there. So we'll be utilizing that. We'll have another wall of all kinds of rail signage, and then different memorabilia that we'll have placed around the spot. We do have a model train set that kids will be able to be hands-on and utilizing. It makes lots of good sounds, and it is loud, so it'll be good for the kids. We will have jiggers and hand cars so people can get in and climb on these and get their pictures and all that fun stuff. We do have the 55-inch TV that we purchased as a smart TV. We'll be showcasing various railway images from across Minto, as well as intertwining that with our Move to Minto and Live and Work videos that we've been doing. So that's that. We've purchased new pull-up banners featuring where your business belongs and where your family belongs, so tying in with our branding. Our table will have a nice new tablecloth on it representing the town with our website. We also have this brochure rack that we're going to be asking community groups. A lot of people want to have a space within our space, but we don't have room for that. So we are happy to take our groups and clubs promotional material and have it on hand. And one of the pieces I handed out on your desk is our new resident prospectus. That is part of our Come Home to Minto marketing plan. So people looking to move here, we can give out those. Mannequins, we have these two mannequins. One is a conductor, one is an engineer, so they'll be set up within our space. Again, people can take selfies with them. And we will be doing social media around all of this stuff at the match too. Andy Pridham is doing our Made in Wellington feature, which is a replica of this bench here. It's going to be a shortened version, so it's going to be nice. The really cool is John Cox made this ticket wicket for us, and we're really excited about this because people from 10 till 2 can come, and you have here on your desk your ticket to ride the rails, and you'll be able to go around the county showcase in our little train from 10 till 2, and Bryn Mawr Transit is helping us out by providing a bus driver during that time to drive the little train for us. And on the back, you can take that ticket back to the Railway Museum for a free hand car ride after the match. So yeah, there's the little train.
And how do they get the ticket? Just by visiting?
Come to the ticket wicket in our booth. Okay. They get the ticket and then they ride the rails. I think we can only fit 8 to 10 people per time, so we're only going to be able to do so many rides, but they'll be able to take that back to the museum. We'll see how many people came actually to the museum from the match. So little thing. Oh, and then we will be selling these beautiful cards designed by Wesley Bates, our very own Wesley and Clifford, and they are commemorative cards. I believe there's 6 cards in the package, and they come with envelopes, so you can pick those up at our booth. stop by. I have to give special thanks to Bob and Delaney at the museum for helping with the railway heritage aspect for this booth, and definitely to Heather Waterworth. She's our graphic designer, and she's been helping us out a lot in terms of designing the layout of our space, making sure it all is going to fit how I envisioned it fitting, and then designing all of these pieces that you have here and a lot of the other stuff that we're doing around this. And I definitely want to also say thank you to the Public Works Department for transporting all of my stuff to the match next week. We move in on the 14th and we move out on the 26th. So they are definitely lifesavers, as is some of the recreation staff that may be needed to assist us as well. Also, so take off Town of Minto booth. The other thing that we've been working on, we were approached by manufacturers in our area to give them a presence at the match to hire. The county was focusing on careers in agriculture, and so we didn't want to leave our manufacturers hanging. So the Township of Wellington North and us joined forces with our largest manufacturers in our area. There's 5 of them coming together. And they're having a space right behind the county showcase. They're on 3rd Avenue and Wellington Street, I think. So they'll be there hiring on site. They're doing giveaways, and we're doing a big promotion leading up to the match to draw people to the match to meet with them there. So that's kind of what their ads look like. You can go to the next one. So yeah, they're doing mobile signage across Minto and Wellington North, radio ads, print ads, driving people to the Live and Work Wellington portal, and then submit a resume and win. So they're donating prizing every day to do this. So that's where we'll be. Taylor, myself, and Callie will be manning the Town of Minto space for the whole week. And we are also involved in the county showcase extra elements. So Tuesday night, we'll be helping with the field dinner. Wednesday night, we'll be helping with the Future Farmers Eve. There's lots. It's going to be a very busy week, but we're really excited to showcase what we're doing in our space, and I'm expecting it to be really busy. So any questions?
So I just have a couple comments. First of all, there are some rural train stations in Minto, like at Drew and Melgund and Fulton stations that you were talking about. I think there's some small pictures of those around. Too late to make the big banner, obviously, but
I asked the county for any images, and they said the only one that they knew of was Fulton Mills, and they didn't have a proper photo of that. And I tried searching it because I remember for the 150th,
that's what I was thinking.
We had postcards of that, but I couldn't find who had the original to get time. Yeah. But if we have smaller pictures, we can frame them and put them on easels.
Yeah.
Just to Judy's comment, the Historical Society in Harrison has the picture of the nice picture of the Drew station.
Okay.
And the Minto station, I believe they have, but they never knew where Minto station ever was. So it'd be interesting to see on your map because Fulton is there, but they might have one of that.
Was the Minto station not down the 8th?
It was on the 8th. It was called Melgund.
Pretty sure it was down the 8th.
It was called Melgund.
Yeah,
the Minto station.
But a lot of them haven't. So
right at Minto Ag.
Yeah, right at Minto Ag.
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay, so they have. You probably could get one.
If we can get them, we can put them in frames on easels, because that's what we're doing.
They have them frames. You might even be able to just borrow them for the match.
Oh, perfect.
And the other thing I noticed was, and we've been looking for one of these. That's the only reason I know that. But the railway crossing, the sign, and the one that you showed up there said railroad crossing.
Oh, that's not the exact one we're using.
Okay, because what we discovered was that's the American way of marking crossing, and here in Canada we mark them with railway crossing. Yeah, because we were trying to find one of those, and so that's just something that we learned during our searching.
That's not a picture of.
No, okay, that's fine. And the other thing that just astounds me is 16 years ago we had a match here in Wellington County, and I was on council at that time, and we are so fortunate here in Minto to have lots of staff helping out with. And I know this one is in Minto, but still things have changed so much since. In that 16 years, because no kidding, we had council members cutting out paper and a picture of each of the former 4 municipalities and saying this is Minto. Of course, amalgamation was very new at that point, and so on and so forth. But it was so dumpy compared to what we're doing now in 2016, and so things really change even in that short period of time. Like you wouldn't even have thought about the things you could do 16 years ago. So things are moving at a very fast pace, and it's great to be a part of it.
Good, thank you. And I should say we are on budget for our booth, and many, if not all of our items are being repurposed at the museum. So it's not like it was a one-time fee and it's gone.
That's an excellent idea.
A lot of and that's another reason why we selected the railway theme as well. So it's hard to think of something that represents the whole municipality and that's unique to our area. So hopefully everyone's
and just
happy.
on that thought, Belinda, is the fact that we are taking the railway theme, and because we were also doing the sort of renovation of the Palmerston Railway Station, this has really come in nicely for us to do the whole thing. And when you see those mannequins, it's all the repurposing that we're doing. We're having a soft launch on the 10th, I believe. This Saturday. A little bit of wine and cheese down at the thing, and we're going to. So
4 till 6.
4 to 6. So if any of the council would like to drop in,
I
know it's a busy day, but we wanted to do that and just showcase where we're at with the changes. You'll see the changes. There's amazing the changes we've made down there, and what Bob and Delaney and the group that is sort of working on that has done. So it's really been good.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, have a good meeting.
Hey,
What's the time for the?
well, right now is that you're so we go into the public meeting now. There's
No. For that thing on Saturday.
Oh, 4 to 6, I think we have.
4 to 6.
You'll get a note out. We should send a note out. We'll send a note out to you guys.
Okay, thank you. At the Palmerston Railway Station.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Well, here's some people coming now.
Check
So.
2 for you, Jack.
Oh, there's 2 of each in the bag. Good man, David.
Dan.
You're looking pretty relaxed, Dan.
So, Mayor Bridge, we're not in council, so you can just take the motions off the floor here to move into committee with it, committee of adjustment.
Okay, the motion on the floor. Can I have a motion to move into committee of adjustments? Councilor Anderson and Councilor
I'm
Dirksen.
not looking at him.
She's not talking to you.
All in favor? You guys are just.
I love a scrub.
Oh no, you guys are always jumping your hand up there like you want to get. I want to make sure we get it across. Okay, so where are we now, Bill?
So now you're back to the public meeting, Mayor Bridge, on the
On my thing here.
minor variance.
Get it here.
Now back up to public meeting.
So here.
Pretty cool.
Oh, there.
Is that nice looking?
Minor variance. There we go. Okay. Public hearing agenda.
Okay, way up
There
here.
we go. Okay, that I got it. Okay. All right, now we're in a public hearing, and I'll call the public hearing to order and publicly state any decision reached by this committee today cannot be used to set a precedent. Each application considered by the committee is dealt with on its own merits, and no applications are exactly the same. Public hearings to consider a minor variance application file number A416, Dan Sinkler. I'll call on the Secretary Treasurer to state the following information.
Thank you, Mayor, Chair Bridge. Property is described as Lot 1, Part Lot 19, 310 Main Street East, Town of Palmerston, Town of Minto. Proposed application is to permit construction of a 3-unit street townhouse with rear yard setback of 10 feet or 3.04 meters. Sections 13.2.1.6 of the zoning bylaw requires a minimum rear yard of 24.9 feet or 7.6 meters. Notice was mailed to property owners within 20 feet or 60 meters of the subject lands and to applicable agencies August 23rd. It was also posted on the property and circulated to staff on the same date. Comments were received from the Town of Minto Deputy Clerk, and that staff report is attached. And Wellington County Senior Planner Linda Redmond, I believe her report is attached as well.
Okay. I'll call on the town staff. Did you want to speak to that, Terry?
I can speak to this one. So the subject property located at the corner of Main Street East and Queen Street in Palmerston. If you recall, back in, I believe, late April, early May, it burnt down. Took a long time to clean up, but finally that was done. So due to the large lot size, the applicant is looking at constructing a 3-unit street townhouse. The legal zoning frontage, regardless of where the units face, at this point is off on Main Street. So the relief is actually on the bottom side of that yellow outlined building, and that's the proposed building envelope. So that's the rear yard. You got an exterior side yard, front yard, obviously, and then an interior side yard, which is on the right. Right. So that's
good.
Pretty much a lowdown.
There's just one entrance then, one off of Queen, one off of Main.
Currently there is. When the building's constructed, there's the option of doing 3 off Queen or 2 off Queen and then the existing one off of Main. The applicant can speak whether or not that's been decided for at this point.
Terry? Any more questions for Terry? No? Okay, and then I'll ask the applicant if you would like to speak to it. Ann?
I don't know how close to talk to
That's it.
So basically what Terry said, I've talked with Terry over this application. As of as of going forward, we are going to have 2 entrances off of Queen Street for I call it the bottom 2 on that map. And that is actually going to allow, I know the way the zoning allows a side yard, rear yard, that's going to allow for deeper rear yards on those units. And the one at the Main Street, we're going to use the existing driveway. And it won't have any rear yard, so to speak, but I actually have that unit sold already if this goes through. So they don't want yard, right? They don't mind the side yard in the front. So I just want to maximize the property, and I know that the county likes that, and I think it's going to look great on that parcel. So that's all I got.
Any questions for? Oh, that's good. Your point of density, like we're looking for more density, and that makes sense.
Good.
Great. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
for now, I don't think that we see anybody here otherwise. So I will call on anybody that would like to rebut the applicant or agent. Well, not seeing any. Secretary Treasurer provide resolutions for the committee to consider upon resolutions being carried or defeated. The notion of decision of the Committee of Adjustment is signed by all members of the Committee of Adjustment in favor of the decision.
Mayor Bridge, I do have the 2 resolutions prepared for you. I'll bring forward the one to approve the application since there isn't anyone here in opposition. It reads, we, the undersigned, in making the decision of this application, have considered whether or not the variance request is minor and desirable for the appropriate development of and use of the land, building, or structure, and the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw and official plan will be maintained. And it's to approve that with no conditions now. Under our new Planning Act procedures, we have to give a brief explanation of the effect, if any, that the written and oral submissions had on the decisions. And I would state in that section, if it's all okay with the Committee of Adjustment, that written and oral submissions received were in favor of the application.
Yep. Everybody all right with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So if someone wanted to move and second that, and I'll pass it around for signature. Please only sign if you're in favor.
Councillor Elliott, Councillor Church, all in favor? Okay. Pass it around. And that's going around, I'll state, anyone wishing to receive a copy of the notice of decision, please sign the request of notice of decision prior to leaving the council chamber following the meeting. Adjourn it?
Mm-hmm.
I now adjourn the meeting. Go Builder.
Get her done.
Get her done. Thanks, Dan. Great.
20-day appeal period.
Going sold.
Not neat.
I'm not sure.
Technically does, but yeah, we gotta
Drop
wait.
something, Jerry.
Are you done, Terry? You know nothing else? Are you sure? Bill always calls them back after they try to get out.
One of the best young building officials in Ontario.
Yes.
Well, you're not kidding.
Yeah, we're awful lucky.
Send him an email. Oh, they didn't know he was in
He responded.
Okay, where are we now, Bill?
EMO summary.
Emo summary? Oh my gosh.
It's going to go on about a half hour.
An hour on this one. Sorry.
Bill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we do need that, yes.
Motion to move back in.
Sure.
Councillor Anderson. Councillor Turton, all in favor? on the back here somewhere.
Mayor Bridge, if you like, I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on the AMO summary.
No, it's all there.
Sessions that I went to are there. Some of the other members may want to comment on some of their sessions that they attended. Again, it's now the only opportunity we have where we have a consolidated conference with everyone essentially present. So I think AMO is a good opportunity for council to continue to attend if they can do so. The only thing I really wanted to talk a little bit about, and it's just to raise a concern, and I do, if you did read the report, I did go on a little bit about it, and that is the final presentation snuck in at the very end of the session when, frankly, a lot of people are traveling home or whatever, and that has to do with the climate change initiative, and the title of the session was "Where Are We Going?" and the path forward on climate change. And the only reason I wanted to mention it is because I felt like there was a lot being implied there about municipalities requiring standards above the building code that we can't do, and also quite a lot of talk this year about cement roads in municipalities as opposed to asphalt. And I don't know, and I think even the presenter would express that it's probably not realistic for some of our lower traffic roads, but you are already seeing them in the 400 series highway. But the idea is to reach these new climate change targets. You're getting to the point of where the small percentage of difference between asphalt and concrete is what they feel may make a difference in terms of meeting those targets. And I just feel like that kind of initiative is going to be very, very costly. And we've all seen what's happened with energy, and we know that there's cap and trade money being set aside, and we know that we'll be paying on our fuel consumption to help fund that. But what I saw in this was two private interests essentially putting forward their position on how we can achieve these targets. And frankly, those private interests are going to make an awful lot of money doing that, and all of us, the one ratepayer, are going to pay for that. So I'm 100% sure that the province doesn't know how exactly, no one really knows how to exactly implement these climate change targets, but the way it seems to be heading is creating some warning signs in my mind about more and more costs added to your budget for things like roads like that, or climate resilient roads, or the cost of housing going up as more energy initiatives are put into homes. These are things we need to monitor and watch and continue to keep ourselves educated on them in terms of where they're going. That was the only red flag for my way of thinking, and I appreciate the fact that they did bring it forward, and there was people there who were watching it. I think it's just something we need to keep an eye on. There needs to be some balance, I think, on some of these things coming forward. I think we're all concerned about climate change and the impacts it may have, but we're also concerned about the growing cost of just about everything we do as a municipality. And I'm not sure the cost benefit is proven on all these. I'll leave it at that.
This is a little off topic of what he said, but I just wanted to thank Bill very much for this report. I was unable to attend AMO, and this excellent report that you wrote, Bill, I felt like I was there. I went through and I read every word, and thank you again for being so detailed.
And I guess I just like to thank the people that were able to make it, coming to the ministers. I think it always shows good that we managed to get there. Everybody was there for the meetings and ministers, and we had some interesting ones this time around. It was kind of fun. And we have had some feedback, and Bill keeps up to date on what's happening. So I totally agree that there's a couple things that I find if you go to AMO and some of these conferences, not only what you get from the sessions, it's what you get from networking with other politicians in your own situations, and that you're not alone out there, and that we can talk about that. And Bill, your comments about this is very important. I think we make sure AMO and both FCM and AMO look at these things, because with all this infrastructure money that's coming forward, there are going to be people who want to take advantage. And I'm not too sure that the province has already backed off the natural gas thing. So I think we have to let them know there's issues that, we can't take it all on in one big chunk. So I didn't make that session. I had to go home because we had some other things on. But thanks for going, Bill, and bringing that report back. Anybody else got anything to add? Because I know you all had some interesting things.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Bridge. I really enjoy going to the AMO convention, and for a lot of the reasons why, just getting out there and getting involved, talking to other municipal leaders, and it's always good. I've enjoyed it every time I've went, and you always bring something back, even if it's just a brochure that you hand to your public works director. Yeah, it's good, really good.
Else? Thoughts?
I would echo Councillor Turton's comments as well. I guess and thank you, Bill, for the report. It's very good. The only thing is, I guess, where is it here? In the background, at the very start there, you talk about the split between Ontario Good Roads and Roma. And I think we shouldn't discount the Roma conference either, because I still think there's a lot of really good information to be gleaned there as well, if the timing works and so on and so forth. It remains to be seen, what kind of a conference they put together, because I don't think there's much of an agenda out just yet. But certainly, and I don't know how many years Good Roads and Roma have been together, but certainly in the past they were separate conferences, and they were both very good conferences. So there's lots of opportunity out there for learning. That's the upshot of what I'm saying.
And on that point, it's a good point, Judy. It's going to be interesting because the Roma is going out there kind of already getting some information of who's going to be setting the agenda, and they're getting some speakers already. So you'll see a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah. I think this council going into the budget procedure should be looking at, we're limited ourselves to 2. We may have to look at that and figure out what we might want to do as far as dollars put into conferences. And not that we have to go to all of them, but we might want to make sure that we cover the bases. The other one that's coming in next year that I would probably suggest that everybody look at as well, because it was in Ontario a few years ago, is the FCM is in Ottawa this year in June too. So there's another opportunity to get to the federal people, and I'll bring back more on that as I get more. I had my first conference call on the FCM, and I have my first meetings next week in Oakville, so I'll have a bit of an idea what the agendas look like that for that is going forward. But it's very important that we do that, and we've had a policy of X number of dollars, two ones, unless there's an approval otherwise. So we may want to look at that and then figure out how we spread ourselves out, because I would hope that we don't not go to some of these because of the fact that they're split, because it makes it a little tough. But at the end of the day, we'll have to maybe look at what the costs are and what we're going to go for.
Yep.
Okay. So maybe we'll have to report on that. That's a good point.
Right. Speaking of conferences, the OSIM conference.
Yeah, it's the OSIM conference.
Always excellent. Always supportive of groups our size. Ron, you've been to a couple of them, and you've enjoyed them. We met at AMO with the Minister of Municipal Affairs, with our small board, and we also met with the official opposition of that too. So it's always, for a small group, they kind of bring forward the discussions with those people. It's not GTA, it's not the greater area. We're talking about people that our needs and what we bring forward, and I think it's important too. We put together a great conference this year in Goderich, and I think it's even better in Blue Mountain. I always want to say Blue Water, but Blue Mountain this year. That's Collingwood. So up near Collingwood, they get mad when you say Collingwood. So I would, if you got the opportunity, I would consider something like that, because we do bring a lot of information and a lot of contacts that people that get, and many of the provincial people attend that.
Just a suggestion I'll throw out there is that I would really like to see that instead of the entire council going to a convention, that we do split them up a little bit, and that maybe especially the 4 main ones, we make sure that they're covered by at least 2 council members at each one. And part of the responsibility of going to a convention and having your way paid is to bring back a report.
Yep.
And that as attendees of that you are responsible to report to the rest of the council on the main, just like this excellent job that Bill has done on this one.
I think if I can indulge the council and maybe have Bill, I know after the plowing match we can do this because everything's going to be so much easier after the plowing match. I've done that too many times now.
So much more
Anyways, maybe because the other problem we run into is most of these conferences, we have to start making decisions very
So far
quickly
ahead,
because
right.
they fill up the hotels and all this stuff. So I would maybe like, Bill, if you come up with a bit of a report going into the budget process in October that we can maybe lay out what ones are out there and sort of get a bit of an idea and maybe have some discussion on it. Is that fair to everybody? Yep. Because it is a bit of a change. It's pretty easy before. We kind of had a couple that were kind of standard, but now with this, there's going to be people that want to go to Good Roads because Good Roads has certain things that they may be more interested in. But you're right. I don't think we can cover them all, but maybe we can cover the majority of them. Okay? Fair? All right. Put more work on you, Bill. Sorry.
Okay, Mayor Bridge. I just very quickly to mention the delegations. We did get 2 of them that were very successful, I thought. The first one with the Attorney General on the Harrison Lawn Bowling. You handed the Attorney General an agreement that we're prepared to sign on that, and I'm hearing from the lawyer that might have hit a nerve and that we may actually bring that to conclusion. And the second one, even more, every bit as interesting, is that after our delegation to the Deputy Minister of Finance, they called the Treasurer and asked him to sit on a board to look at the amendment that we proposed to the Municipal Act, and others. So he's going to be sitting with them to help them work out these rebate programs, which we pointed out an anomaly with. So I'd like to think that maybe the Minto amendment is going to come forward to the Municipal Act. So
We've got the solution.
So we'll see. But we just need a motion to receive the report, and I will report back to you on the things you mentioned.
Councillor Dirksen and Councillor Anderson.
Mayor Bridge. Sure. I'd be happy to move that, sir.
I already had my finger.
I know.
I wonder why we don't put our hands up because you don't pay any attention.
I was right there. I had both of you.
Squeaky wheel.
Change it around.
Squeaky
Councillor
wheel.
Anderson first and Councillor Dirksen next.
I can squeak.
All right. No problem. Okay. I was looking right at you, so that's why.
On that, or I don't know.
All in favor? Yeah. No, thank you. Keep me going. Okay. And you're on again, Bill. I'd like to take
a page out of Blender's approach and just say you have the report on the solar panels. You have I think we have 8 contract offers. We have a bylaw on authorizing the mayor and I to sign documents pertaining to implementing these. There will be a further process on them. The rooftop units are being assessed from an engineering perspective, so we'll make sure that our buildings are suitable to have them. And also the technology for firefighting will be included.
We can put them out.
So we can turn them off and our firefighters will be able to have access to those areas if need be. Gone into a little bit of detail on the 132 page agreement. So I put very little detail in there.
Thank you for shortening that down.
They want you to sign them essentially as is. So, question.
Any question?
I think you answered one. We will not sign till we get the engineer. And what about the life expectancy of each roof compared to the
life
term
expectancy of the
the
solar?
lease? Is that part of the report from the engineer?
Yeah, we're hoping
as well
we have.
as the stability?
Yes.
Okay.
It will also be part of that will primarily be in the financing agreement we have. I'd like to bring that back to our next meeting. So we will have a separate agreement with ArtGen Solar on these. And in it, we will talk about what happens if the roof has to be repaired and who's responsible and all that stuff. Or replaced. So hopefully we've got a 20-year capacity in all those locations.
Okay.
We'll know after the report.
Yep.
Burton. Deputy Mayor Faulkner, all in favor? Carried. Good. All right. Finance. I'm turning it over to, I'm going to take a rest. turning it over to Councillor Colville.
Okay, the Finance Committee has 2 items on the agenda tonight. The first one is regards to the amendment for borrowing schedule.
Great, thanks, Chair Caldwell. So this kind of goes back to something that we dealt with in the spring when we did the Jane and Inkerman project, and if you remember, it was replacing the roads, the sanitary, and that too. And at that time, we discussed various options, and we decided to increase the scope. And I think I commented, well, that's fine, but we'll have to revisit that too. Also, we always kind of look at which is the best way to go for borrowing through the county using their the Dun & Bradstreet rating and all that too, or do we go on our own through Infrastructure Ontario? The legal costs, if we can share it with others, are generally a little less if we go with the county. I remember one year we were going to be the only one, so we went on our own. And the interest rates are very competitive. That used to be more of a factor, and now they're approximately the same. And Infrastructure Ontario's process is a lot better too. So it's more a matter of convenience. There's a couple of other lower tier municipalities that we're pretty confident are going to go ahead with the county. So I'm kind of recommending that we join that process. Just in view of our council meeting schedule this year, though, there's certain things that the lower tier has to do before the upper tier. So just to get the process started, I'm proposing that we amend our budget here. So basically, I think when we passed the capital budget in March, it was $1,420,000 in total borrowing. That included $660 that was authorized the year before for Ann and Jane Street. So I'm proposing to bump that up to $1,780,000, and everything else is just kind of flows from there. There's no other real changes. And then just at the same time, it's not really reflected, but right now we're trying to put this life cycle, very long-term amounts into the water and sewer. But in the meantime, we're having to borrow right back again from operating. So I'm just saying, well, let's simplify that till we get back on site, get the water meters, and get that revenue process going. And I think it'll clean it up, at least the presentation, a little bit too. So anyway, that's what we're proposing for our 2016 borrowing. So $1,780,000, $660 already authorized through infrastructure and the balance with the county.
When I read this, my first question to Treasurer Duff was in regards to our reserve borrowing ratios, because I think this has been something that's been very important to this council. And are we going to exceed this, and if so, for what period of time? Now, he did put on your desk a graph of our borrowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But we don't have
The reserves, right?
the reserves.
Yeah.
But Councillor Duff has assured me that at this state, that right now the reserves still are slightly higher or even to our borrowing limit, even with this additional amount in here. I think it's something, though, we've got to be cognizant of in the next couple of budgets, and because I know personally it was a very important issue to myself, and I think it is to all of this council, that, you know, the grants that we've been so lucky with receiving so many grants, and they're wonderful, and it's for projects that we're having to do anyway. To receive this kind of funding is wonderful, but we do have to, or may want to, just keep that as something to look at each year.
That's right. And as we kind of pointed out, I think we have more confidence in the colored graph. That is the existing borrowing and the projected that we're pretty confident. All I did with the other chart basically was take what we had in I believe it's probably the January presentation, and made those modifications here. The other years are exactly the same except for the amount of the formula funding for the OCIF grant. I'm 100% confident that these figures will change, and I'm hoping that you know, through the financial roadmap and that we get a bit better, and we'll know what's out there. Again, we talked about the very productive AMO presentations that we went to. but all we got was kind of a vague hint about what the federal component was going to be, and I don't think anyone of us had seen the details. And I know it was announced that there'd be an intake in September, but I don't think that's true. So again, something like that can change it, the rates and that too. So anyway, as Councillor Caldwell said, it's certainly something to keep in mind, the overall picture.
Yes, Mayor Bridge.
Yeah, and I what Councillor Caldwell is talking about is sort of where we're at. Couple things as we go into this next budgetary process and probably one after that, because we'll have to look at it from a longer period of time. If the federal government and the provincial government, well, they have said they're going to borrow more to allow the infrastructure spending, we have to look at that possibility. Now, that we have to be there. Now, what I'd like to see, and when we get into the budgetary process and we'll get talking, Councillor Caldwell and ourselves and the budgetary thing with Gord and Bill, is as we get more money from our growth, because the good news is we've had some good growth over the last few years. So as that money comes in, it's sort of like if you think of your home budget, you get a raise, and usually what happens when you get a raise, you say to yourself, okay, I can maybe go out and get that bigger car than I had the last time. So when you pay off the car, you might get upgrade a little bit because that may be a $500 more or whatever it is, and that works out your monthly fee. So we have to look at that too. And some of this, and if we get some of the money that we've been very grant organized, like where it's been going grant and got more formula based, which some of it is turning into formula based now, we have to look at all those factors and then figure out, I agree, we have to know where we are as far as our surplus and what we owe. And as we pay off debt, we have to come up with where's our comfortable ceiling. I think that's what we're talking about, right? Exactly. Where's our comfortable ceiling as a council that we feel comfortable that we're not going to put future councils in a bit of a hole, or someday we wake up and there's a great program out there, but we have no money to get into it. So I think that's what we're going to have to be very careful of, and I totally agree with you. The good news is, I think a couple good things with the growth, and once we see that assessment and the taxes come back on, that might give us a little bit more bump, but we'll have to be very, very knowledgeable about that and go forward. But if I'd hate to lose 90% grants or 80% grants because we want to push the envelope, but we want to know where our envelope is and where we feel comfortable to push it. Okay. And we're having that same discussion at the county level.
Sure.
Same discussion at the county level on what we're funding through debt and what we're not funding. And some of it's like bridges and things that are very large. We're looking at funding maybe more debt wise and whatever. So yeah, I think this is great foreshadowing of what we have to go in this next budget process. So very important budget process, because the good news is whenever they announce it, the FCM, I was on an FCM call today.
Yeah.
And we're having our first meeting next week. One of the big things is there's a big meeting on right now that our president's out there meeting with the infrastructure and finance people out in Edmonton. They're having a meeting for Edmonton for some unknown reason. It's in Ottawa, but anyways. They're out there and they're talking about it, and part of it is this next one for the feds is going to be one of the biggest ones I've ever seen for infrastructure. So, and you know what? They can't keep doing it, so we'll be better ready to go. So I think we have to have those discussions, and so I really, really charge this council with, like, let's really, when we get this budgetary process started in the fall and going into January, that we really, really think about it and be there and participate as much as we can on it, because this is going to be a big decision time for us. And if you need any tools, let us know. That's the big thing. Through Mary Lou or Gord or Bill or whatever, to understand where we might want to go. We'll get the tools for you.
Okay. And just following on that, has the budget meeting date been?
I think we have set the budget meeting dates, have we not?
Because we changed the first couple of.
I'm sorry?
We were reviewing that, Mayor Bridge.
Oh, yeah, there was some,
Right.
yeah, we had to put some dates out. We haven't got them
final.
yet. We better get it finalized. We haven't got it yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then, so is there any additional questions? Just gotta get back to the recommendation. Is the council accepts the treasurer and deputy treasurer's August 26, 2016 revised capital budget and long-term borrowing report dated, and considers the amendment to Schedule A of bylaw 2016-19 in regular session. May I have someone make that motion, please? Mayor Bridge, Deputy Mayor Faulkner, all in favor? And the motion is passed. And the second item on the agenda is the approval of accounts.
Right. So this really relates to what we're talking about. By far, our biggest outlays right now are the construction projects, the Alora Street one for sure, and we've started the Jane and Inkerman too. So you can see our public works have been very busy, and their friends too. Yeah. And a little bit, they keep working away at the arenas there too, but. Yeah, it almost ties right back to our financial statements for 15 is we've really put a lot of investments into our hard assets the last couple of years. So, yeah.
Okay, are there any questions? Then the recommendation is that Council of the Town of Minto receives the Treasurer's report dated September 2nd regarding approval of accounts and approves the Town of Minto accounts by department for July and August 2016. Would someone make that motion, please? Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, and she put her hand up. All in favor? And thank you, and I turn the chair back to Mayor Bridge.
Good. I'll turn it over to Councillor Turton.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. To welcome our road and drainage foreman, we've got 4 items on the Public Works agenda today. The very first one being the structure repairs and the safety guard, the guide rails installations. As most of us went on road tour earlier this year, some of these items are coming up that need to be repaired. So, Mike, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Currently, we have 51 structures in the municipality between bridges and culverts out there that meet the requirements for the OSIM reports every year or biannually. Currently, there is no structures out there that are real high priorities. That being said, we're about 5 years out on one needing to be replaced. There is a couple that have come to our attention that need safety guide rails installed. Coon Creek, Structure E, which is on Sipes Lane, just north of Clifford. And then there's another structure on the third line in between School Road 7 and Bride Road, which have been noted to have some safety concerns related with them. We have had a quote from a local contractor, Reeves Construction, to do the repairs on each of these structures. And the one for Sipes Lane is $12,500 to provide and install the guide rail, and then the other one is $39,500. Yeah, 500, and that's for the guide rail installation, and then as well as the cosmetic repairs on the southwesterly side of that structure there.
Questions? Go ahead, Councillor Caldwell.
Through you, Councillor Turton. Is there a dollar value that we go out to tender? Is that the criteria as to when you go to tender and when you don't? When you can just go to a sole?
Over 5,000?
25,000.
25,000.
25,000. So I guess I'm just questioning why this one didn't have to be tendered.
Well, it's one of those things. It never went to a formal quote. This is just a price that we've received from the contractor. The reason for the insight on these two projects, they were brought to our attention because of work that they've done in the area. They did the Bride Road project last year, and they noticed the one on the third line. So they brought it to our attention, and he gave us a price basically for budgeting purposes. And then when we received the price, in order for us to go to a tender, we're going to have to get engineered drawings, and the price potentially could increase. And go ahead.
I just wanted to add that's kind of why the report is here. It normally would be tendered, but a couple things. One, it's late in the year and many of the contractors are busy, and two, the pricing is so amazing that we felt we better bring it forward to you. It's your choice whether you wanted to sole source this, but this is a sole source contract. in this case, and it's an exemption to your tendering.
Deputy Mayor Volker.
Yeah, and I want to compliment our roads department. I think we can be really proud of the roads and the work we've done on our infrastructure or bridges and whatnot. I've had the occasion with the project that's coming up in a short time to be all around Wellington County. Notice I didn't say it.
No, you didn't. Would that be IPM?
And I can't believe the number of roads in Wellington County that are closed because municipalities can't afford to fix the bridge, so they close the road and put railings around the end, and it's happening a lot, and so kudos to you guys.
And I just wanted to add one thing in answer to Councillor Caldwell was Reeves is a specialty on the railings also, so that was taken into consideration. Not only the lowest price, but their low price, but they're specialized in that area too.
Other questions? Councillor Dirksen?
Get my name out here. Thank you, Councillor Turton. So I'm just curious about you're saying that we don't have to have this engineered unless we're going to tender, unless we're putting it out to tender.
We need to have, in order for it to go out to tender, we'd have to have engineered drawings so that it could be compared apples to apples when they come back in, or price-wise. Or else somebody could bid completely different on something else. So with saying that, in order to go to a formal quote, we'd need to have an engineered drawing for specifications on what is required for each situation. They've provided us with price based on the Ontario provincial standards.
Okay.
And engineered drawings, which they get all their product from manufacturer, which has engineers on staff, and they're all MTO approved drawings for each situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I guess my question on the not going to tender on it would be, you feel very comfortable that because of Reeves being a specialist in this area, have done many before with us, that this is a fair price. The idea of tendering, obviously, is to make sure that you get a fair price. And so you feel comfortable. Obviously, you wouldn't put out this report. So
that's correct.
In this case, I can accept that from getting it done. And it's interesting. I was talking to the county today, and there was another municipality that doesn't put guardrails up anymore, and they just pay the when somebody goes off, they settle the insurance. And I don't want to be that person.
Wow, that's pretty scary.
Game out there.
Yeah. But it's a case of they just don't have, as you said, they don't have the money to do it, and they're taking the risk. They're hoping nobody dies.
And like Mike says, it will be built to OPS standards.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
We follow that OPS standards.
Councillor Anderson.
Sorry, and I don't mean to flog the horse here. The only question I have is, and I know when we put tenders up before, we sometimes only get one bid. But the time we don't put a tender out, are we going to hear from, we would have done that job. You guys didn't even ask us. So just throwing that out there, is there any likelihood of somebody complaining? And I mean, we're not, there's no obligation. Well, I don't know if there's an obligation. Is there an obligation to put it to tender? Can somebody come back on us if we didn't tender it and they said, we could have done that job and we would have liked a chance at it?
CEO White.
Yeah, I think I'll answer for the three of us that we would, obviously our normal course of action would be to tender. I think that it's unlikely in a case like this. It's so late in the year, they are specialized, and everybody is really busy. So the fact that we can get good pricing, I think we're just looking at this as kind of a unique situation we want to take advantage of. Not a huge job. The alternative is to wait till next year and do a bid in the spec, and we just felt like we thought this was so attractive pricing. I think we had a $60,000 budget for one, and we're going to do two for 52 something. Yeah. So we thought we better bring it forward to you and let you decide whether that's the way you wanted to go. But as a general rule, and the message we want to send is that we do tender on our projects. So And I don't think we'll have a problem in this one case.
Other questions? So the recommendation is the council receives the road foreman's report regarding structure repairs and guide rail installations, and approves hiring Reeves Construction Limited to supply and install guide rails to structure E for $12,500 plus HST, and complete concrete repairs and supply and install guide rails to structure L for $39,500 plus HST, with both projects being funded out of the SIPE lane capital allocation in 2016 budget. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Elliott, seconder? I'll second. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Faulkner, all in favor of the motion? Against? And that's carried. Thank you. Second item that we have on our agenda today is the structure P rail trail fire. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, 1 month ago today, this structure was set ablaze by arson. And we have since had an engineer come in and to inspect with his report being attached. The way it looks right now is the structure itself, the piers and girders seem to be in good shape. It's the retaining systems and the deck on top which needs to be replaced. There is some preliminary work that needs to take place so that the engineer can do a follow-up on the pillars themselves, just to make sure there is no damage to the piers.
Questions? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Faulkner.
My question is, has this been blocked off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's just double check it.
Other questions? Councillor Caldwell?
I take it this is an insurance claim, is that correct? No.
Yes.
Yes?
Probably will be. There was some discussion about that because it's infrastructure, but we read our policy pretty closely and we've spoken to an adjuster since then, and I think it will be an insurable item.
So we would pay our deductible, which is
$10,000.
Other questions? Recommendation that the council receives the road foreman's August 15th, 2016 report regarding structure P, rail trail fire, and provides direction on proceeding with this matter. I have a mover and a seconder for that one, please. Councillor Caldwell, thank you. Councillor Anderson, all in favor of the motion?
What's the direction?
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
What's the direction? Sorry.
What was that?
Sorry.
Oh, you had a question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
That was, you're going to ask it, or you want me to?
I already did.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what's the direction? Okay.
I guess it's a good
Yeah, it is.
The direction I think should be that we proceed to get design drawings done to repair the bridge. The insurance is actually for replacement value. I'm not sure we need a new rail bridge there, but we'll work with the insurance company and bring back a proposal for you that's reasonable for all concerned. I don't think we want a $500,000 bridge in there.
No.
Unless it's concrete, because that'll help the environment.
Yeah. And they can't burn it.
Can't burn it.
Exactly. They could. With
They'll
enough.
use fuel.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we work with the insurance company and the engineer to bring forward a design.
Okay. We have a mover.
That sounds right.
Councillor Caldwell, are you okay with that? And Councillor Anderson? All in favor of that direction? Against? That's carried. Thank you. Third item was discussed earlier and has to do with the municipal drain number 2 improvements. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, we've had a request for an improvement on municipal drain number 2, which spans from basically the 14th and Ayton Road all the way to the east to in between the Third Line and Pike Lake Side Road. Currently, we are in the process of doing maintenance on this, just a clean out of the drain, the whole extent. During the clean out, we have noticed that there is some needs for some structures, some culverts, private crossings on the system that need to be repaired, which would help with the flows. We can't do that kind of work under maintenance, so the request for the upgrade has come forward since then.
Questions?
Councillor Turton?
Yes, go ahead.
You said concession 3. Would that be side road 3?
So side road 3 and
Side
Pike
line
Lake,
3,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's Road 3 North.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions? The recommendation is that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the road foreman's report regarding the municipal drain petition and improvement under Section 78 on the Drainage Act and appoints Dietrich Engineering Limited to represent the town's interest in this regard. Thank you, Councillor Faulkner. Deputy Mayor? Councillor Dirksen, all in favor of the motion? Against? That's carried. Thank you very much. Final item has to do with some housekeeping. Winter maintenance of the Connecting Links Agreement. Mike, go ahead.
Yes, this is the annual agreement for Highway 9, Highway 23, and Highway 89 winter maintenance. And as you can see, there's roughly a 1.67% increase over last year's rates. Is there any questions?
They just offered us a raise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The recommendation, no other questions. The recommendation is the council receives the report from the roads foreman regarding the winter maintenance of Connecting Links Agreement and considers approving 2 bylaws in regular session, authorizing the mayor and the CAO clerk of the town of Minto to sign these agreements. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Anderson, Councillor Elliott. All in favor of that motion? That's against. That's carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll pass the chair back to our mayor unless there's a question. Nope. No questions. Okay. Thank you.
Other businesses disclosed. Has anybody got any other business? Councillor Anderson.
September the 18th is the Terry Fox Run, and I know that the town has a team going, but I also have a team going, so if anybody's not supporting the town, if they'd like to join us or support us as a worthwhile cause, cancer's touched quite a few people in this building over the past year, so I'd like to ask us to continue to support this worthwhile venture, and hopefully someday they'll come up with cures for all types of cancer.
Yep. And I will be in the town's team. And
You'll be, oh, there you go.
Yeah. We always do that every year. It's a great event.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to point out that Terry Fox, I used to run one up in Horseshoe Valley where we were at Sugar Bush, and I went down to the meetings. They're one of the best charities. Of the majority of your money goes to the event, the two looking after the cancer research. So they really, really do a good job of keeping their percentage of administration really low, and I really appreciate that.
Good.
So get out there and do it. We're not busy.
No,
We're sponsored.
Yes, it's good time. Yes, you can sponsor. You don't have to run. You can
That's right. That's right. If you can't run, sponsor. Councillor.
Well, I was going to also remind everybody about the Harrison Minto Fall Fair, but we've kind of already done that. So just don't forget that while you're resting up for that other event the week after. Also, the kind of the kickoff to the IPM is the church service, and that happens on Sunday the 18th as well at 3 p.m. Not like there's nothing else going on that day.
Walk right there.
And yes, anyways, it features 120 voice choir, which is just incredible. And a gentleman by the name of Reverend Keys Vandermeer is going to be the speaker. So we're expecting hundreds of people to show up at that.
Yes.
Funny you should mention the IPM. Anyways, I just want to say to the public audience out there that's working is how incredibly supportive our staff is from the town of Minto to making sure that this is a great event. It truly is appreciated by myself and the executive, and I wished we could show better ways of showing our appreciation, but other than a great simple thank you, and to the county as well.
David, good, everybody. I just one other item at TG Minto is having their thing on the 11th, and I believe Belinda said today there's 800 volunteers going to be planting those trees. So it's just totally amazing. Again, going back to what Deputy Mayor just talked about, the volunteerism in this community, and that's really amazing. And Belinda gave us all one of these.
They're
We're
fantastic.
going, and they're going to be at the plowing match. We have a great opportunity to really leverage what Minto is all about, and I think they did a great job on these. So if you get a chance, there's lots of them. So hand them out to people, and we'll get them out to people because that really tells you why people should be moving to Minto. I tell them all the time, and that we have a great place to live and work. So just a great piece of stuff. And that's all I got.
Distribution.
The church
No,
service?
No.
Starts at 10:30 is the planting. The official opening ceremony is 10:15, I believe it is.
Something like that.
And
It's in the
and
morning
then
anyways.
planting, and it should be all done by 1:00.
Where's that?
Which includes lunch.
Yeah.
I think they're having lunch and music.
Oh, there's,
Oh, it sounds like
all
there's
kinds of
quite a bit,
entertainment
yeah.
and
So
big shindig.
quite interesting, and we're
Dress rehearsal for the choir.
Yeah, yes, that too.
Battling climate change.
anyways all good. And Joy,
One thing you were just speaking about this, and one thing that I just want to point out, and I'm just so thrilled to see, is that Minto is composed of the former towns of Harrison and Palmerston, the former village of Clifford, and the surrounding rural area of the former township of Minto, because so often when we're talking about the town of Minto, we kind of forget the glue that holds all those urban areas together. And so as a resident of the township of Minto, I'm really happy to see that.
and I'm happy to see the Minto Township resident as well.
There you go.
No, it's great, and it's well done. Okay, so we're moving right along, Bill. Where are we?
Bylaws.
Bylaws. Moved by Councillor Caldwell, second by Councillor Anderson, that the Council of Town of Minto ratifies the motion made in the committee of the whole. All in favor?
Where am I going here?
Moved by
See
Councillor
this?
Elliott, second by Councillor Dirksen. The committee of the whole convenes into regular council meeting. All in favor?
I guess we did those in the wrong order.
Did we do in the wrong order? Well, you're handing them to me, Bill. I'm not checking you out. Okay, how many more is this gonna? Moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Elliott, the bylaw number 2016-1665 to amend the emergency response plan for the County of Wellington member municipalities be introduced and read first, second, third time. Passed on by Council seal of corporation. All in favor? It's hard to read these. Okay. Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, seconded by Councillor Turton, that the bylaw number 2016-66 to approve the temporary road closure, no parking or stopping, and speed reduction on specific roads during the International Plowing Match and Rural Expo, September 20th to 24th, 2016, be introduced and read first, second, and third time. Passed on by Council seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Anderson, second by Councillor Dirksen, the bylaw number 2016-67 to authorize the execution of an agreement regarding the 2016 and 17 winter maintenance on Highway 9 with an integrated maintenance and operation services, Inc., introduced and read first, second, and third time, and passed on by Council seal of corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Caldwell, bylaw number 2016-68 to authorize the execution of an agreement regarding the 2016-17 winter maintenance on Highways 9, 89, and 23 with Integrated Maintenance and Operations Service, Inc., introduced and read first, second, and third time, passed on by Council seal of corporation. Why do we have two of those?
Different agreements.
Different agreements. Okay, all in favor?
Can I interrupt? Just a point of order before we do the last one. The borrowing one, do we need a bylaw or is the report sufficient?
Report, I think.
If we need one, we'll have it at the next meeting.
All that one was for is to put it on
amend the
to
original
put it
budget.
on there so that the county can then, we'll have to do one once the county knows that's what we need. We'll still have to
Okay.
do one, Mary Lou, I believe, when we actually borrow the money.
Okay.
So that was just to allow you to change, yeah. So
Do
it's
it
not a
after the-
bylaw yet. We're not actually borrowing the money. We're just doing direction. That's what I figured.
And the other one was just to amend the budget.
That's right. That's right.
We'll do it after the plowing match.
Yeah, after the
After
plowing
the
match.
plowing
That's right.
match, yes.
That's right. You're right on. Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, the bylaw number 2016-69 to authorize the mayor and CEO clerk to execute agreements with independent electricity systems operator, IESO, to permit installation of feed-in tariffs, FIT, on municipal property be introduced and read in first, second, and third time, and passed to open council and seal the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Anderson, bylaw number 2016-70 to confirm the action of the council of the corporation of town of Minto be introduced and read first, second, and third time, and passed on by council and seal the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Caldwell. The Council of the Town of Minto adjourned to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor?
After the plowing match.
After the plowing match. Exactly.